Greetings and salutations and all the good things in life, people. Welcome to Rocky Mountain Rankings. I am your host, Davies Tallow, and today we'll be ranking the albums of King Crimson, if you dare. Hello, everybody. As I said, we'll be ranking the albums of King Crimson. Something I've been wanting to do for, I think, for a couple months, at least, if not longer. And I've been checking it out. Yeah, I'm a big clucker. I know. I should be ashamed of myself. I'm sorry. But, in actuality, this, out of everything I've done, King Crimson has been and is the toughest thing. Their albums are tough to rank. I'm sure they're right. I'm sure there are people out there who say, well, no, they're not. Well, to me, they are. As I've said in the past, and I will continue to say it, progressive rock is, well, I love progressive rock. I love heavy metal. I love progressive metal. I love all forms, except hip-hop, rap, to an extent. I do like Hollywood Undead. And I will eventually get down to ranking their albums someday. Excuse me. This form of progressive rock, when you deal with, King Crimson, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and such. As I said, it's like a full course meal. I mean, you got all kinds of stuff, especially in King Crimson. You got rock, you got melodic rock, you got a little bit of folk, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it is a full course meal. And when you listen to King Crimson, you have to listen. You can't just simply throw it on the record player and go off and start cleaning the walls or something. Well, I suppose you can, but you're really not going to enjoy the music as if you were to, or appreciate it. Let's put it that way. That's what I'm trying to say. Appreciate the music. I put on King Crimson at work, and in the Court of Crimson King, the first two albums, I can listen to and work and enjoy them, probably because I know them the best. I mean, and you'll see why. You'll see why. I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag a little bit, but all of them. Well, every single album is good, if not great. There are just some that I enjoy more than others, and that's like with everybody. But to get the full effect of King Crimson, you have to really listen to it. You have to digest each note and every word and bass note and drum and keyboard and saxophone and whatever they've got in there, because it's a mix. It's a mix. I know there's a lot of people out there that cannot stand King Crimson. When I first heard King Crimson, I was like, well, I think it was the first album this is the only one I knew about when I was younger. 21st Century Schizoid Man. Probably because I was I first heard that as a April 1 cover, which I really liked. But the rest of it, I really didn't know. I really didn't care because when you're younger, you're coming and going, and you haven't got time to digest all that food, musical food. Yeah, call it musical food. You want some cake? Well, we'll throw some of that in there too. But anyway, my hair's all messed up. Can't do a thing with it. I know some people are going to say, why'd you cut it? Well, no, I'm not going to. So anyway, King Crimson, founded by Robert Fripp, great Robert Fripp, the bizarre Robert Fripp. Michael Giles, Greg Lake, Ian McDonald, and Peter Seinfeld. Gone through a lot of changes, a lot of coming and going. Of course, as we know, Robert Fripp is the mainstay, the driving force behind this band. He's the one that makes it and breaks it. As you will eventually see, there's been 3 versions. Basically, you can say there have been more versions because of the earlier few albums, you had people coming and going like Greg Lake and Michael Giles leaving, Ian McDonald, all of them, but in essence, there's been 3, well, let's say not versions, but Mark 1, Mark 2, and Mark 3, you could say. I know I'm using something that's been used for Deep Purple, but I'm going to use it here. Mark 1, of course, started out in 68, Mark 2, 81, and then Mark 3 in 94. There have been other times when, Mark 3 ended in 2003. There are 2 other ones, Mark 4 and 5. But they didn't put any albums out. 2008 to 2009 was really short. 2013 to present, probably the longest. Probably the same as Mark 3. Say 2013. Oh yeah. So anyway. I was hoping that the current lineup, the one that some people say is no more. Tony Levins said that there's not going to be any more King Crimson. I think Robert Fripp has chimed off on that and agreeing with it. But we'll see. You never know, especially when you're dealing with Robert Fripp. But I was hoping the one with Jacko Jazik. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong. As the lead singer, I was hoping they'd do an album, but apparently they weren't interested. Well, let's put it this way: Robert Fripp wasn't interested, most likely. I'm sure the other guys were. Be as it may. So anyway, that's what we're going to tackle. As I said, this was really tough. Been listening to the albums all week. Like I said, you really have to listen. You have to sit down and listen, and that's what I've been doing today. Before we get started, though, I found this. This is an album my mom had when she was a teenager. And it's really been used. Bring this up so I don't drop the record out. Fabian, Hold That Tiger. I found this upstairs in a bunch of old albums I was going through. That there's Fabian, some of the players on his album. I don't know if it says when this was put out. On Chancellor Records. It doesn't say, but I'm willing to bet it's put out late 50s, early 60s, because I was born in 62. So this had to be at least a few years before I came along. Let's see what it says on here. Nope. It's been well used. It's got a lot of scratches in it. I bet it crackles and pops. Snap, crackle, pop. Yeah, there's no date on it. Let's see if we can find out on the internet. What can't we find out on the internet, right? But this poor album cover has been... it's not a double album cover. It's single. But before we get into this, let's find out about Fabian, what year that came out. Could it be? Let's see. Oh, there. Fabian Forte. Is that how you say it? Forte. Oh, he's still around. I didn't know that. Born in 43, just a year younger than well, not quite a year younger than my mom. 79. Let's see, when did he put that album out? Hold That Tiger. Well, those are singles. Albums. Oh. That is his very first album. 1959. I was right. It's like he's only put out, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 albums. Hold That Tiger, The Fabulous Fabian, The Fabian Faircade, Young and Wonderful. Those are all were put out in 59. The Old Summertime, The Good Old Summertime, 1960. Hot Rock in 1961. Fabian's 16 Fabulous Hits, 62. And Fabulously Grateful, 63 was the last one. A lot of hits. So, yeah. His very first album. So, I just thought I'd throw that in there. I thought it was pretty neat when I found out. My mom found it interesting that we still had that. She had a lot of albums. She had, I think, the Beatles' second album. What happened to it, I have no idea. But anyway, let's get into King Crimson. Before I do, please like and please subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Leave your own ranking of the albums. A weird thing going off my eye there. But yeah, I'll be interested in seeing your own ranking. So please do. But yeah, let's get into this here. King Crimson, like I said, born in 1968. up and down, all around. Um, Current members: Robert Fripp, Mel Collins, Tony Levin, Pat Mestellato. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Gavin Harrison, Jocko Jazik, and Jeremy Stacy. Former members: Michael Giles, Ian McDonald, who passed away this year, Peter Seinfeld, Greg Lake, who passed away in 2016, Gordon Haskell, who passed away in 2020, Ian McCullough, Ian Wallace, passed away in 2007, Boz Burrell, passed away in 2006, John Wenton, passed away in 2017, Jamie Muir, Bill Buford, who I believe just retired. Of course, a lot of people in music retire, but they come back. So we'll see. David Cross, Adrian Ballou, Trey Gunt, and Bill Rhineflin. Apologies again if I mispronounced that. Passed away in 2020. 13 albums, studio albums. That's all we're going to do, studio albums. I know they put some live albums out there, or live stuff. I don't know. There's any live albums. Let's see. Oh yeah, live albums: Earthbound, USA, Great Deceiver, blah 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 blah. Okay. So anyway, here we go. We're starting out with number 13. Those who don't know how this works, I start with my least favorite. I work all the way to my favorite. This is because of my least favorite. Doesn't mean I don't like it. It just means I don't reach for it as much. And this, like I said, this is really tough. So anyway, number 13. Start with an album. Let's see. Released in March 1984. It was the last album, basically, of the second coming of King Crimson. And of course, that's Three of a Perfect Pair. And of course, this is the third album of the second coming. I know a lot of people love this album. It's a good album. I listened to it again today. It just doesn't grab me as well as others. And from what I've read, they had the recording sessions weren't exactly happy. Recording sessions, of course, right after they put this out, and I don't know if they toured on this. I don't think they did. I don't think they toured that. But anyway, Fripp broke up the band right after. I know a lot of the players were not exactly happy with what came out, especially Robert Fripp. He thought it was kind of weak, could have been better. And I tend to agree. Starts off with the title track, Three of a Perfect Pair. Model Man, great. Sleepless, I like. Man with an Open Heart. New Age, that which is passes like clouds, instrumental. That one is kind of enjoyable, but I don't know. On certain days, it's one of those songs that I have to be in a certain mood. Industry, okay. Dig Me, No Warning, and then you got Lark's Tongue and Aspic, Part 3. I tend to believe they've beat the Lark's Tongue aspect to death. The first two are okay, are good, but these other ones, I don't know. So anyway, this is the 40th. This is the 40th anniversary edition. It's got DVD with audio content plus a video of Sleepless. It's also got some bonus tracks, King Crimson Barbershop, Robert's Ballad, Shader Zakura, Industrial Zone A, B, and C, which are okay, but I don't know. I'm a hard man to please. Okay, there they are right there. Robert Fripp right here. Right there. You don't often see him laughing or even smiling. So whatever got said must have been good to get him to react like that. Most of the time he's, oh, there's another one of him kind of smiling with Adrian Belew. Of course, in early days you didn't see him do much smiling. He was probably thinking of his next move. So anyway, that is my number 13 to start things off. And I can see this is going to be another long video. So sit back, relax, eat some popcorn. So anyway, on where did we go? Okay, this next one. This one, is the first album of the third coming, I believe. Let's see, yeah, okay, of the third coming of King Crimson. Released in '95 on Virgin Records. Talking of Thrack or Track. Why I say that is because it can be pronounced either way. For example, I've seen people who've been named Tom, add an H in there, Thom. I believe there's an actor called Tom Christopher. I think his last name, I can't remember. I'm not 100% sure. But he spelled his name with an H. So when I first saw that, I'm calling him Thom Christopher. That's an interesting. Well, later I found out it was Tom Christopher. So Track or Thrack, however you want to pronounce it, that's up to you. I'm sure Robert Fripp and the guys won't argue. So anyway, this one I put in the same veins as Three of a Perfect Pair. Basically got the same players as Three of a Perfect Pair. Robert Fripp, Adrian Belew, Tony Levin, Bill Buford, with the additions of Trey Gunn and Pat Meslato. Again, apologies if I'm saying that wrong. But it's a little bit better, a little bit more upbeat. Starts out with an instrumental Room. Then it goes to Coda Marine 475, which is all right. Dinosaur, I kind of like Dinosaur, though it's, I don't know, kind of flat to me. Walking the Hours, I think, is good. Be Boom, it's good. Track or Thrack, whichever, good. Inner Garden, One's good. People, Radio One, another instrumental. One Time, all right. Radio Two, instrumental. Inner Garden 2, and Sleep, or Sex, Sleep, Eat, Drink, Dream. And then you got Vroom Vroom and Vroom Vroom Coda. So all in all, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 instrumentals on this album. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones that have vocals. In fact, well, no, I take that. I don't know if Coda Marine 475. I think that's an instrumental too, but it doesn't say. I can't remember. But anyway, like I said, there's a lot here to digest. So it doesn't grab me as much. I think it, like I said, it reminds me a little bit of the previous album, Three of a Perfect Pair. It just could have been a little bit more upbeat. But yeah, that's the way it's going to be. Though, down the road a ways, as with all music, down the road, what we find is our least favorite now can change and become our very favorite. So this could change. So right now, this is how it is. This is how it falls for me. If you don't like it, tough. Go lick a wall. So anyway, moving right along here to the next one. Okay. Released May 2000. The second album of the Third Company. The Third Coming of King Crimson. Of course, I'm talking about The Construction of Light. Heard somebody talk about this album cover, which, this is what Robert Fripp chose out of a whole bunch of different ones. I believe they got the different album covers that he had to choose from in here. Let's see here. Oh, that one. This one. I don't know about that one. Maybe. Oh, this one. Not any band member except for on the back here. Here's on this one. He had Robert, Adrian, Trey, and Pat. Bill has flown the coop by now, along with 2011. Of course, Tony would return later. This one's a little bit better, though I don't reach for this as much either. Starts out with one of my favorite King Crimson songs, Prozac Blues. It has Adrian singing, but his vocals have been slowed down, so he's singing a bizarre, bass, voice, but I love the lyrics on it. Doing the vocals this way is perfect for this song. Doing vocals like this doesn't work for every song, but here it hits the nail right on the head. And I believe the song, keyword Prozac, was about this time when they brought this out, Prozac, what Prozac was doing to people and stuff, and drugs in general. Screwing people's lives up. So anyway, that's my favorite song, I think, of all King Crimson. Goes into construction of light, parts 1 and 2. Into the frying pans, okay. Fractured's great. In the world's my oyster soup kitchen floor wax museum, whatever that means. Then we have Lark's Tongue and Aspic, Part 4, in 3 parts. Part 1, 2, and 3, Part 4. So, yeah. And it ends with I Have a Dream, Coda, and then Heaven and Earth, which is, I guess, recorded as Project X, whatever that means. So anyway, decent album. Starts out strong. For me, it kind of ends weak, but still, King Crimson, unmistakably King Crimson. So anyway, moving right along. Okay, we're still in the most current album area. Released March 4th, 2003, their last studio album. We're talking about The Power to Believe. This one I enjoy a lot better than the previous 3. I was listening to it a few minutes ago right before I started recording this. And this one has the potential of moving up a lot quicker than the other ones. So down the road sometime, if I were to redo King Crimson, this could probably end up a lot higher. So it starts, of course, it has Robert, Adrian, Pat, and Trey all on it. Of course, they've got a bunch of different people doing different things on here, but won't get into that. Starts out with Power to Believe 1. Then goes into instrumental level 5, which is good. Eyes Wide Open's great. Electric, another instrumental. Facts of Life, intro. Facts of Life. Good. Power to Believe Part 2. Dangerous Curves, good. Happy to Be With You. Happy with What You Have to Be. Excuse me. Happy with What You Have to Be Happy With. A lot of happies. And ends with Power to Believe 3 and 4. Kind of a repeat, I believe, of track. Yeah. Or track. And as I've been listening to a lot of these albums, these later albums, I've kind of seen a pattern that, I don't know if it's Robert doing it or who, but like with this, if you look at the track listing of track, and compared to this one, it's all the names, the wordings, the titles of the songs are different, but it's kind of the same as that one, So I don't know. One of those King Crimson things, I guess. So anyway, that's my number 10, Power to Believe, if you believe. So anyway, moving right along. Okay, now this is where we started getting into the earlier stuff. And this is also where I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. No, not too many people have disagreed with me for other rankings, but this has potential. Uh, but anyway, this is how I perceive King Crimson. This is how I like King Crimson. If you don't like it, tough. So anyway, here we go. Coming in at number 9. Album released October 6, 1974 on Island Records. Red. Now I know there's some people who revere this album. Quite a few people out there who revere this album. Now, just because I'm putting it at number 9, that means I hate. Doesn't mean I hate it. Far from it. It just means I don't reach for it as much as the others that are to come. Starts out with the title track, Red, which is fascinating. Usually the title track on these earlier albums are kind of quite long, but this is 6 minutes and some change. Fallen Angels, good. Red's a good, decent song. One more, Red Nightmare, good. Providence, all right. Starless. I like this version, though. I've seen a live version of Starless, which I really like. Maybe a little bit better than the studio version, but I don't know. That's just me. I think this has got the bonus tracks on it. Yeah, this is the 30th. I've got some that are the 40th anniversary, and others that are just, these two, the Power to Believe and Construction of Light, aren't anniversary albums. They're just regular albums. Everything else is 30th or 40th anniversary, but you'll see the difference. The 30th comes in the regular jewel case. The 40th comes in the box, like this one. So I've got a mix here. Just ended up that when I ordered them. So anyway, Red's a decent album to me. It's just right now I don't reach for it as much. It probably move up later on. Like I said, I do like Starless on this one, though the live version I like a little bit better. So on this one you have they were down to 3. I guess at the end of the recording sessions, Robert Fripp, John Wetton, and Bill Buford. David Cross plays on track 4 and the bonus tracks. Mel Collins on 5, Ian McDonald on 3 and 5. So, yeah, this is where the first version, or first tenor of, or whatever, first passage of King Crimson, the first coming of King Crimson, kind of ends. Robert Fripp just says, okay, that's it, we're done. And he never really wanted to revisit King Crimson when he broke it up the first time. He wanted to move on to other things, and he did. But of course, with all things that you've done, it comes calling again, and he heard the calling, and we'll get into that later. So anyway, that's my number 9, Red. Okay, number 8. Another album revered among Crimson fans. Released March 23rd, 1973. I'm talking about Lox Tongue and Aspic. Lark's Tongue 1 and 2, that, to me, that should have been where Lark's Tongue and Aspic should have ended. Don't get me wrong, parts 3 and 4 are okay. I just don't see the point. So anyway, this one, a few months ago, this probably would have been lower, but this is moving up. Like I said, you got a lot to digest here, and I've been digesting. So, starts out with Lark's Tongue and Aspic, Part 1, instrumental. Of course, I think they're all instrumentals. I don't think there's all 4 parts have any vocals. Let's see. Well, Book of Saturday, I like. Exile is good. Easy Money. Talking Drum, instrumental. Of course, in this one, you got 3 instrumentals and 3 with vocals. So, anyway. John Wetton. How would I put this? Great man. Don't get me wrong. He's a great man. I wish he was still around. He died he passed too soon, of course. As with all our musical heroes or sports heroes or whatever, they pass too soon. You sit there and think, God, they give their all to us, and then it doesn't seem like they get a time to enjoy their lives. With John Wetton, he was a great man. What he did with Asia was fantastic. He should have been in Asia all the time. But things are the way they are. His earlier vocals, like with King Crimson, I don't know. It just way he sings, it just bugs me sometimes. His vocals just, I don't know. Maybe it's probably just me, but on some of the songs he sings on, it just kind of grades on me a little bit. I'm like, and I'd probably because the way he sings in Asia and the way he sings here, it's completely different. Completely different vocal style to me. Maybe it's the production, I don't know. Or, maybe he just, his vocals in UK are a lot better. He sings, he joined Uriah Heep after he left after King Crimson broke up. And he sings on the High and Mighty album, very first track, One Way or Another. That just, when I first heard it, I thought it was, David Byron. I thought it was him singing. I'm like, good grief, was he drunk? I didn't know it was John Wetton at the time. I didn't know that until later. Uh, but his vocals on that song, just awful. I'm sorry, it's just awful. You know, some people love that song. I don't. It's just awful. His vocals here, I don't know. But anyway, that's the way I see it. You know, still a good album. All these albums are great, but this right now is my number 8. So Lark's Tongue and Aspic, nice covers. You know what I really don't like is probably this one and Starless and Bible Black. The rest are pretty decent, or well, not decent, but great. Oh, and Construction of Light. I think that should have been better. But that's Robert Fripp for you. Okay. And speaking of Starless and Bible Black, released March 1974. Starless and Bible Black. Kind of a plain Jane cover. Wouldn't you agree? I don't know. It's like, to me, that's like somebody dripped some watercoloring and stamped it. Maybe that's what they did. I mean, it looks like a stamp. So this is the 40th anniversary series. Okay. There they are. There's Robert with a beard. I think Robert looks better with a beard. There's some more pictures. This has got Robert writing down on certain dates and what's going on, like Wednesday, 8th June 2011. This is when they were remastering it. 9/19 Super Audio Mastering. Monks Withercombe Chingford. A morning of mixed Dartmoor weather. Sun, eruptile rain. Sun, our morning begins with a thorough listen of yesterday's work. So, I guess he just decided to keep a log of what they were doing. Good album. On this we had Robert, John, Bill, and David Cross. Starts out with The Great Deceiver. Again, John Wetton's vocals. That's the only problem I have with these albums that he plays on and sings on. Is his vocals. Not all the songs, but some are just great on me. The Great Deceiver is one of them. Lament, good. We'll Let You Know, instrumental. Night Watch is good. I like that one. Trio, The Mincer, Starless and Bible Black, and Fractured. Again, 4 instrumentals and 4 with vocals. Like I said, John's vocals are just bug me. Nothing against the man. He's a great man, great songwriter and stuff, but I think his vocals could have been so much better. I don't know. On this one, 40th anniversary, you get 5 bonus tracks. The Law of Maximum Distress, Part 1 and 2. Improv, The Mincer, Dr. Diamond live and Guts on My Side live. So yeah, even pretty good songs. I like Dr. Diamond. So, but yeah, this, the earlier stuff, it's Robert at his finest, the experimental stuff. He loved it. So, anyway, that's number 7. Hey, number 6. Almost the top 5 at 5. Released December 1971. We'll talk to another favorite among the King Crimson crowd, Islands. This album cover is one of my favorites, if not the favorite. I think they hit the nail on the head for this one. Of course, I know people say, well, what's that got to do with Islands? You got stars there and whatever else, gas and stuff, cosmic gas and radiation, whatever. I don't know. It's just islands in each world, each star is an island. So there you go. On this one, you had Robert Fripp, Peter Seinfeld, Mel Collins, Ian Wallace on drums, and Boz on bass, Mel Collins at saxophone, flute, bass flute. Peter Seinfeld, this is, I believe, the last one that he was on, with the band. He did the lyrics back then. Designed cover design, painting. Starts out with, let's see. Okay, Boz was doing the vocals, which I like his vocals. They're pretty close to Great Lakes, as far as I'm concerned. Formentera Lady, good. I like that one. Great opener. Sailor's Tale, good. The Letters, great. Ladies of the Road, I like that one. Prelude, Song of Gauls, great. And of course, Islands. Clock's into 11 minutes and 51 seconds. Of course, includes a minute of silence and a hidden track. But all in all, this is the 30th anniversary version. So you got all kinds of paper clippings in here. Crispin Takes to the Road. They are up here, or right there. I guess they're getting back on the flight. Yeah, they got where's Sinfeld quits. This is too bad. He came up with some great lyrics. Okay, go back in there. Good grief. So yeah, great album. This would probably be higher but what's to come, a little bit better for me, at least right now. This, down the road could become number 1. Who knows? Sounds got to be number 6, right? So, hey, we're moving to the top 5 at 5. Okay, more potential flack from people, and so what? Another 40th anniversary version, released September 22nd, 1981. The start of the second coming of King Crimson, Discipline. No, some people are going to put Discipline in front of Islands, in front of Starless and Bubble Black, in front of Locked Tongue, but in front of Red? How can you do that? Oh. Well, very easy. This is how it rings to me. So, and this is what I was talking about earlier, the Second Coming and the first album, The Second Coming. The band, when Robert Fripp decided to form a band again, he was going to call it Discipline. Especially when he got taught Bill Bruford to come back. On this one, you have Adrian Belew, Robert Fripp, Tony Levin, and Bill Bruford. And they were going to, like I said, be called Discipline. But ultimately, Robert decided, no, King Crimson sounds better. And I agree. Discipline's a good name for an album or a song, but not a band. Anyway, great return. What I really like is he didn't try to replicate what had come before. A lot of bands tried to do that. They tried to redo what they did before, and at times it falls flat. Sometimes it works, but other times it falls flat on its face, and people aren't impressed. Starts out with Elephant Talk, which I really enjoy. Frame by Frame is great. Matti Kudasai, love that one. I love it. Indisciplines, okay, that's one of the songs I really don't understand or get. Now this song, I know I'm going to murder the title. Fela un Gente. I know I probably murdered it, but apologies, but it is what it is. I like that one. It's great. The Sheltering Sky and Discipline instrumentals, of course, love them. Few instrumentals on this one, which is nice. So anyway, this one, of course, is, like I said, is the 40th anniversary edition. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there they are. Definitely in 1980s mode with the haircuts. This one's got some. It doesn't have, well, it has a DVD. Of course, all these 40th anniversaries come with DVDs. So different. The original album, 2011 stereo mix, the 30th anniversary master mix. Additional tracks. Selection of Adrian's vocal loops. The Sheltering Sky alternative. Fela Hun alternative mix. The Terrifying Tale of Fela Hun. Terrifying Tale. An Elephant Talk. Video content, Elephant Talk, Frame by Frame, and Discipline. I don't think I've watched the videos yet. Some more pictures of them in the studio. The studio, not on the road. Here they are again. So, all in all, a great return for King Crimson. So that's my number 5. We're top 5 at 5, moving right along. Now this album has moved up. Excuse me, I gotta wet my vocal cords. I know I should have done that before I came back on, but it started recording again. But anyway, this one has moved up a couple months, well, a few months ago. If I'd done this, it probably would have been lower, but this one I really enjoy. I'm really starting to enjoy more and more. Released in '82, second album of The Second Coming, Beat. And yeah, that jewel case is correct. That's how I got it from how it was delivered to me. So something slammed against the package it was in. But what can you do? On this one, of course, you got same lineup returning, which was you wouldn't have seen that in the earlier days. Robert Fripp, Adrian Belew, Tony Levin, and Bill Buford. Starts out with Neil and Jack and Me. It was a good song. Heartbeat's great. Satori and Tangier, good instrumental. Waiting Man, love it. Neurotica, all right. Two Hands, The Howler, Recreant. Just really growing on me. Of course, it's a product of the age it was recorded in. You can hear that in it, but still, it's a great album. I just love it. Let's see what things we got inside here. And I've seen videos of live videos of tour. I believe Bill and Adrian come out and do a little thing on percussion to start the show off. Just neat little percussion piece they start out with, and then Tony Levin comes out and Robert. But yeah, this one, like I said, it's really growing on me. But, and as I stress with all my videos, if you're unsure, go to YouTube Music or YouTube. Listen to the albums if you're unsure about it. Make your own determinations and then go from there. If you are interested, listen to it more. Don't go out and buy the album first. King Crimson is not for everybody. Like I said, it's a full course meal, a progressive rock, and there's things not everybody's going to enjoy it. Like I said, with me, I enjoyed a few things, 21st Century Schizoid Man and a few others, but when I was younger, but now that I'm older, it brings more true to me. I never thought I'd get into King Crimson, but I'm glad I did. But I listened to the music to make sure first on YouTube before I went out and bought the discography. So do the same. Listen first and then go. But if you like it, definitely support the bands. Support these bands because they're into, not only to make the music, but they need to make money. So to continue, even the ones that aren't no longer around, they've made the music, they deserve the money. So anyway, let's get right on to it. That's beat coming at number 4. Okay, number 3. Number 3. Number 3, Eagle. Come and get me number 3. Not brain number 3. Released December 1970. Talking about Lizard. I see your lizard is limp. What movie's that from? But you don't know. Another album that's moved up in my eyes and ears. When I first heard this album, I was kind of conflicted. But as I've heard it more and more, the music is going down better. Like I said, full course meal. Especially, you got some fine wines here. Especially in the stuff that's to come. This is where the fine wines are. You got a selection of fine wines. And maybe a whiskey here and there. And a beer. But here we see. This is a time when a lot of people are coming and going. You got Robert Fripp, Peter Sinfield, Mel Collins, Gordon Haskell on bass guitar, and Ian McCullough on drums. Or Andy McCullough. Ian McCullough's an actor. Starts out with Circus, included entry of the Chameleons. It was great. Indoor Games, love it. Happy Family, Ladies of the Dancing Water, and then ends with the Big Bad Epic Lizard. Includes Prince Ruber Awakes, Bolero, The Peacock's Tale, Part C, parts A, B, and C, and D, and Part C is in three parts as well. Is in 3 parts. The Battle of Glass Tears, which has Dawn Song, Last Skirmish, and Prince Rupert's Lament, and then D it finishes off with Big Top. Yeah, so that's right there, a 5-course meal. There they are right there. Again, Robert smiling. I believe there's another picture of him smiling. Oh, yeah, right there. Him smiling over here. Let's see. I think there's another one here. Oh, yep, there it is. Right there. Maybe he's laughing at the Crimson Lizard. There's Peter Sinfield. And I love this album cover. I mean, it's got all kinds of neat little pictures and people coming and going and stuff. Just a fantastic cover. Of course, the front says Crimson, the back says King. But this album could very well one day be my number 1. So, but definitely check this earlier stuff out. It's just fantastic stuff. So, that's number 3, Lizard, the third lizard of the day. Moving right along. Okay, in the top two, and as always, my top two could change places at any time. In fact, I almost changed them before I started this. But I decided to leave it the way it was. And if you're a King Crimson fan, you know the two I'm talking about here, but you don't know how they're going to fall. So anyway, released May 1970. In the Wake of Poseidon. Another fantastic album cover. Even the back's great. I almost put this in my number one. But number one, I just love to death. Here we got the Players. You know, with this one, this is where the original King Crimson started to kind of fall apart. Though you have the original King Crimson members playing on it. Robert Fripp, Peter Sinfield. Then you had Michael Giles and Greg Lake, who agreed to be on the album, but they left right after. Of course, Greg Lake went on to form Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Mel Collins and Gordon Haskell with Peter Giles playing bass guitar on this. Keith Tippett on piano. So, in spite of all the comings and goings that was going on during this time, fantastic album. It's just growing and growing and growing in my, way I see things. Starts out with Peace, a Beginning. Greg Lake's vocals, fantastic. I love his vocals on this, on the first one. Pictures of the City. Candace and Cascade. In the Wake of Poseidon, fantastic. Peace, a Theme, another instrumental. Cat Food. When I first heard that song, I'm like, whoa, what a different song. I mean, totally different from everything else on this album. That stands out big time. And I love it. I love that song. I've had this album playing on the showroom at the shop, and every time that Cat Food comes on, I start singing it. Cat food again. I just love it. You know, especially when you get customers in there and they're like, "The hell's playing?" Devil's Triangle. 3 parts. Murday Morn, Hand of Skirion, and Garden of Worm. And it ends with Peace and End. Like I said, in spite of what was going on with the band, they put out a classic album. I mean, this album could have been their worst, what was going on. But, like I said, Greg and Michael stayed and played on it and just lent their talent to it, and this is too bad they left, but at the same time, you know, with Greg leaving, we got Emerson, Lake and Palmer, which I love as well. Now, I've been told one of these albums, 'cause I know I have 2 of them, 'cause I have 2 of them. 'Cause I know 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 I have 2 might have been, was recorded live, but they took out the audience. I can't remember if it was this one. No, I don't think it was this one. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't this one. It was one of the later ones. But album cover. You got the Fool, the Laughing Man with the wispy beard, fire and water. You got the actress, the Egyptian girl with the long pearls. The observer, scientist type, round spectacles. Let's see. Oh, on the back, right there. The old woman. Right there. The warrior. There's a black and red. He wears a helmet, of course. Warrior right there. The slave. Well, I won't mention. We're touching on touchy area right there nowadays. So the child, picture of innocence. Of course, right there. The patriarch, an old philosopher, right there. The logician, a scientist or wizard type of man with long face and dark hair. I guess that's supposed to be him right there at the bottom. The Joker. Let's see, the Joker, the picture of a bright red and yellow and a striking wrinkled eye, Harlequin. I guess that's supposed to be him right there. The Enchantress, a sad girl with watery eyes. Oh. And Mother Nature. Lying asleep in the long grass. Well, I don't see that one. So, but anyway, some more newspaper clippings. Of course, there's Greg Lake and them. Greg Lake and Robert. So anyway, fantastic album. And like I said, this is going to be a long one. Okay. We're at number 1 here. Of course, all you King Crimson fanatics know which one it is. Released October 10th, 1969, in the Court of the Crimson King. And that wonderful album cover that a lot of people didn't like back in the day, and some people still don't like. A friend of mine had the 8-track, and that did not have that on the 8-track. On this album, let's see, the players. You had Greg Lake, vocals, Robert Fripp on electric guitar, Ian McDonald on saxophone, flute, so on. Michael Giles on drums, percussion, and Peter Sinfield, lyrics, illumination, and production. Starts out with the classic 21st Century Schizoid Man. Love it. I Talk to the Wind. Epitaph. fantastic, Moonchild, and Courts of Crimson King. Crimson King. All wonderfully fantastic songs. This edition is the original mastered edition. This doesn't have any, I mean, it's just purely all the original songs. They didn't remaster them, it's the original masters. And I guess I guess Robert and them deemed it not necessary to remaster this because it's perfection. This album is perfection. Some people can argue, and I've heard them argue this, that Moonchild is a little long. Yes, but it's what it is. It is what it is. It's still wonderful. But this album is just wonderful. There's the original lineup right there. Great Lake at the top there. Them sitting on the grass. There's the Crimson King right there. Which I've been told that's the Crimson King. I've been reading these newspaper clippings. It's interesting. And of course, you got that piece right here. Crimson disbands. No, some of the players left. So, anyway, that is King Crimson. Like I said, this is original master edition. I don't know if they got a remaster, but it doesn't matter. This album is fantastic. Played this on the show ring all the time. Well, not all the time, but a lot of the time. Even 21st Century Schizoid Man. Like I said, the first time I heard that song was April Wine cover version, which is just as great. But yeah. So, there you have it, everybody. King Crimson. We'll do a little recap. Number 1, In the Court of the Crimson King. Number 2, In the Wake of Poseidon. Number 3, Lizard. Number 4, Beat the Lizard. Number 5, Discipline. Number 6, Islands. Number 7, Starless and Bible Black. Number 8, Lark's Tongue and Aspect. Number 9, Red. Number 10, The Power to Believe. Number 11, The Construction of Light. Number 12, Thrack or Track, whichever. Take your pick. And number 13, Three of a Perfect Pair. That's it. Finally, King Crimson ranked. Like I said before I started this, please leave your own ranking. I would love to see it. Leave a comment. Please, if you have anything negative to say, it's best not to say it. Because if you I said this before in other videos, there's a lot of people out there that love bite argument, a lot of people who live in this negative world, a lot of entitled people who think that the world revolves around them. if you're one of these people and you're going to insult me or argue with me or say, well, why are you doing all this and you're stupid and blah, 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 I'll just delete you. Putting down people, we're not all the same. We don't speak the same. We don't think the same. We don't, if we all did, there'd be a very boring world. But some people, I guess, would love a boring world. And those people, a lot of those people live in, not everybody, but some live in these HOAs and stuff. They want to tell other people what to do with their lives and how all the homes should be look the same and blah, blah, blah. But to me, that's boring. That's a boring neighborhood. I like decent looking yards, but, well, I'm not, I'm getting into an area I don't want to go into. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I'm going to say we're all different, and different is good. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. It was a challenge. Coming up, this coming Saturday, I'll be doing the ranking of the songs off of Axe's Final Offerings album. Axe is a hard rock band. I started out in the early 80s. So that was my pick out of the bowl. I want Bill's way over there. So I'll be ranking the songs, which is really a lot harder than ranking the albums, believe me. Especially if all the songs are fantastic. Or if all the songs you don't really like all the songs. Of course, no, I take that back. It kind of makes the better ones stand out if there are songs you don't really like. But if all the songs are fantastic, yeah. But there's always that chance of getting that one album where all the songs, you don't like all the songs. And there are those albums out there that I've listened to, and I don't like the songs. But we won't get into that. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Have a good week, and we'll see you this Saturday. Next Monday. I haven't decided what I'm going to rank. I may take that Monday off. Kind of start to get down to where I don't have very many bands left in my record collection to rank. Let's put it this way. I do, but there are albums missing. And I like to do bands where I have physical copies. I have done rankings of bands where I haven't got physical copies, and that's like I think Omen, I did them, and Sarathungal. I don't have any physical copies with either band, but I love those bands, and I just had to do them. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and we will see you all Saturday.